Welcome everyone to VR Jungle, a Havoc podcast. This is your host, Gerald C., and today we have a very fun, interesting guest today. Not just because he's a guest, but he is actually, his company, Olen, is actually going to be Havoc's very first official sponsor, so that's pretty good and exciting. His name is Jason. He makes gun stocks, and he also does sells other things on there as well, but predominantly gun stocks is his niche. He's got a really cool design, and so if you want to talk about that design, Jason, and talk about your company, how it came about, and all that fun stuff.
Okay, yeah. But first off, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
And we're really, really stoked to be part of Havoc. You guys seems like you're a lot of smart, good people. And yeah, and that kind of speaks on what we want to be about is mainly like long-term esports is what we want to be a part of.
yeah,
Whether, whatever it ends up being is like, my personal life goal has been to be a part of gaming. I'm sure many other people have had that. I went to school for computer science, development to be able to be a developer.
yeah,
And I pretty much wasn't cut out for it. It's a really difficult, I respect
yeah.
the people that do it. It's tough. But yeah, so I put on a Quest 1 headset, I think it was back in 2019 or late 2018. And the very first that opening experience, that I think it was like the welcome to Oculus, where you have the whale floating above you, and then they give you the table with the ping pong paddle and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is it. Like there's nothing that can come close to this, how amazing this is. And that's where I just picked it up, started playing a bunch of games, and then Onward was also obviously the first game I played, and I was like, this is great, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
Like we have the immersion of a lot of other games that aren't really shooters, and they're meant to be like played with two hands open and freely. But like with shooters, when you have those rifles, I was like, this experience is lacking. So that's where I immediately started looking at gun stocks and everything, and I was like, no, we're gonna make our own.
Yeah.
And we started with the mob. That one was it's a 3-piece design with 3 tubes coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. But that was really a precursor to the spine, which is our newest one. That one, the mob we used as like a learning experience.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to just put things out there, get a lot of feedback. I sold it locally everywhere too,
Cool.
like handed out to a lot of people. And as I started, get feedback, a lot of issues too, sadly. But that's the way it goes.
Yep.
We respected them. We told them, I was like, one of my brothers is like, we need to give them a 1-year warranty. Because this is 3D printed. Some people can play it rough, and some, and with your stock, you're still learning about it, so you need to provide people that that comfort that you're not just going to leave them dry. So the 1-year warranty was part of that.
Awesome.
We even just had someone who had the mob, and then they were looking to upgrade to the spine. We're like, hey, we'll give you a custom code just for that, so you can upgrade, because that's what we want people to do. But yeah, so that's kind of. Ever since the whole gun stock thing, we actually, we've just been pursuing that entirely, because we've seen other products, got other ideas from people, and I was just like, no, I still feel like the gun stock space still has a lot of room for improvement. People have been making some interesting stuff, but ultimately that's what our primary focus is product wise, is mainly the gun stocks.
Yeah, for sure. And I always love people's very first experience in the VR that really got them into it. There's always that little like first story that you're like, this blew my mind away, and it completely persuaded you to get away from PC gaming, the pancake gaming industry. I still sit there sometimes and play PlayStation, but like me playing like a Fortnite or Call of Duty ever again competitively is like out the window.
Yeah.
Because, playing Onward, Contractors, or anything like that for first-person shooter, loading in and actually, like, being strategically, like, mentally there, like, blows my mind. And, like...
It takes you there completely.
It does.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And I definitely know what you mean. Like, so I have not yet got a stock. And, because I've been looking and looking and looking. And someone mentioned you guys, and I really looked into it, and it was so simple. Because I've seen like other ones, and it's like, you got to put this together, and I'm like, I don't want all of that at all. Like that's like nutty. Like there's so much into it. Like half me was like, I just wanted a simple bar, and I've even talked to people that even put like PVC pipe together and just like drill little holes. Like there's a guy that his name Usain Contra, and he was played Onward for a little bit. He was the captain of our Larsenauts team, and he just put together some stuff with PVC pipe because he's like, I had to have something. And he's like, I'm too busy with military stuff because he's in the military. He's like, I just did this, and that was good to go. I'm like, that makes sense. But I'm like, I don't want to put something together that's going to break. And so
right.
when I finally saw your guys' design, I'm like, this is so simple, and I like the way that it's actually held underneath of it. And so, I actually purchased the Chief one because I thought that was a really cool design. So I'm very excited for that to come in. But like, what do you think? Like, have you tested out like the in-game like stock compared to like actual real stock, like how they're trying to bring that in? What's that comparable to that? You think it's kind of off, or?
It's definitely it's extremely useful for sure. I've a lot of times in game, like when I'm streaming, people might have seen it where you need such fast movement that you're like, no, like right now I'm not even gonna touch the stock. So like you can even just drop your hands real quick, and then you throw a grenade and someone hits the corner. So then instead of going back to pick up your stock, you just grab the gun without two hands. But then you still notice, because you're not using virtual stock because it interferes with the physical, how shaky your hands really are.
Really?
And so like even for me, it might have even hurt because I rely on it too much.
Oh, really?
I do. I play Vale a lot, specifically with the index and virtual stock, and it helps a lot. And it's a lot of fun just because I like to play around, and the movement's really good on that. But so I feel like physical stock has its space in depending on like it's really just preference, and that's the beauty of it, especially with 3D printing, is like we can be so agile, and we can take everything we hear from everybody, what they really want. And that's actually the plan for the next stock we're going to release, is just getting everybody's feedback as we're developing it,
Yeah, for sure. And if anyone wants to put that feedback, there is all the links in the description here. I wanted to say that. And there's also the Discord that is also linked in there as well. And there is getting a lot of love out here as well. And someone just wanted to know when you're going to be putting some merchandise out in the marketplace. And I thought you already did have a shirt out there.
Yeah, we got this one. We got this hat I'm wearing, Olen. And then we got a few other shirts. And, we're working on a few other lines and things like that. So
yeah, for sure. I had to say that because they were all in the comment. I had to get that out before all that. But so this, just the design alone, obviously you had to get a 3D printer, and one that could be, big enough to make that the piece. Obviously the main stock of itself is a hefty piece on its own. But did you go to like a gun range, or did you have like a specialist talk to you, or you just like kind of shopped around like, oh, this is the main gun look we wanted? Because like, what model gun did you even base your stock off of?
So it was actually rough, because initially we started with the AK and the AK-47, because I figured that's like just a universal gun everybody has. And surprisingly enough, a lot of guns I started making models off of, it just looks so goofy without the clip below it.
Yeah.
So then the spine is modeled off an SMG. I can't remember the name off my head. I'm really not gun experienced, honestly. My experience comes from playing shooters continuously for the past like year.
Yeah.
And but I don't really have gun experience. I've actually, luckily, the community is amazing. Everybody in VR is awesome. And we get a lot of people offering suggestions. And one person who streams, J-Bar, Beer and Headshots, really good dude.
Yeah.
He used to be like I don't know if he still is, but he was like a sharpshooter, and he shot real guns, and he's provided a few suggestions.
Cool.
And so that's kind of where we're coming from with that.
Yeah. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was about to say we just have other guns. We're working on different models, like a bullpup style where the clip is behind. But it'll look cool like a real gun, but the clip will actually stabilize your trigger hand so you can pull in on the clip. And but that's down the road.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of like design into it as well. Like I guarantee like just the mechanical thing of it, because obviously you're relying on a 3D print to, make this thing sturdy enough for the durability of someone playing hours on end. Like I know especially with like contractors, like the amount of people the hours that they put in just to be at a competitive level is ridiculous. Like it was hard for me when I was started out doing the competitive stuff. I'm like, you guys want me to practice every day? It's like, come on. I'm trying to do this podcast, run the back end of Havoc and all this. I'm like, you guys are nuts, but they put a lot of hours in it, and but I would definitely think the design you have is like almost like an MP5 kind of ish, maybe around that caliber, like around that area. But yeah, like it. So, you're saying you're doing other designs, but are you planning on like making a gun to where like it would be adjustable in the bottom? Because obviously you just calibrate those in the game, right? Most games have options just to calibrate it, and that just sticks where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have kind of fiddled with another idea from a guy named Broken. It's Broken is his TikTok and YouTube, so check him out. Really, really cool dude. He kind of threw out the idea of, hey, because we want the basis of the stock was like, let's keep it as simple as possible so people can just pick up and play, because not everybody wants to be an esports professional. Not everybody's trying to get as good as they possibly can. They just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Just like plenty other people, like me myself too. Like, I want to get better, but at the same time I want to enjoy it. So like make it pretty much right out of the box, no screws, no installation besides screwing the back pipe in, which takes 2 seconds. But that was the main goal, is to keep it as simple as possible. We kind of used experimented with Velcro to make it more sturdy, at least on the controller mounts, but the design, I've had help with the engineering of it with family, and that helped tremendously. But one thing we've kind of experimented with from Broken was making the magnets themselves adjustable on the controller mounts. So right now they're fixed position to where across the board, the stock will feel good, solid. Tried it in Contractors, Onward, Pavlov, Vale. The main big shooters, especially the ones that don't have the physical stock calibration, it works across the board. You might have to adjust your head a little bit or kind of the angle of your shoulder. Other than that, it works solid. But making like a magnetic or adjustable magnet on the controller mount or the body itself, we kind of experimented with it, but we've kind of gone back and forth only because the beauty of this stock now is that it mimics a regular rifle so perfectly, because it's just a straight line, just how a regular rifle is. But we also want to make something for the highly competitive people that a stock would actually help. So that's the trickiest part we're getting to, is figuring out like, how are we going to make something that'll stabilize their aim is just as good, if not better than like what is it, the virtual stock, but also not hinder any type of movement like whatsoever.
And so like, how is this comparable for people that play with they're still with their joystick compared to free roaming players?
I'm not sure what you
mean. So like they have smooth turn, 3/4 turn, and then 180 turn, and then there's some people like me that actually rotate in real life. So like, have you tested like on how people with the flick turning, if there's like anything like hindering? If I'm running around in circles, like, is there any hindrance that I would run into?
You definitely will, because you have a good, I'd say like 3 pounds on your hand, so it'll slow you down for sure.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna get buff.
But that's kind of what we're working on too. Like I'm trying to like show, because another part of VR is like physical fitness is a big part of it, more than like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be sweating. So you weigh it, so it's an average of 3 pounds.
Yeah, it's about roughly 3 pounds, just a little bit under. It'll slow you down a little bit, but like not for, for me, like I feel like I've had good flick kills, like good turning, like I turn a lot, except for when I'm streaming, obviously. But it'll slow you down. That's just the way it goes. But for games like Onward, where you don't need those high reflexes, you just need like long range, steady precision. It's really helpful. But that's where the esports stock we're kind of working on right now is. We're minimizing the weight tremendously, like at least half, and then trying to make it is adjustable. So it's a whole thing where like I'm afraid to like get fully into it.
But for sure.
As we go to, everybody who knows us at least is gonna know as we develop it, like fully, once it's ready to kind of go and start developing, then everybody will be a part of it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Have you ever thought about going like the opposite direction of going less weight to like a heavier thing, like a carbon fiber type of thing for the people that want like straight realism of a real feeling gun. Like I know like you can't get as much as real steel, but carbon fiber might be a little heavier than like the plastics or whatever you're using for the thing. And or can you even make something like that, or just be
Beer and Headshots was a guy who's been very vocal about adding more weight to it.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if there was.
He's got a good argument. It's that having the weight to the stock causes like your hands, your smaller movements have less effect on the stock because you're holding more weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so he installed like a fishing weight on the top, and he said it helped a lot, but it was also to counterbalance the weight of the Pro Tube feedback butt.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it a little bit, but I feel like if someone is going to be playing like after, 2 hours is pretty tiring in VR.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're going to be holding your arms like that, they're going to get exhausted quick. Like I was doing a sniper practice, a bolt action practice with a sniper the other day, and 15 minutes later, I'm like, dude, my biceps are killing me. So yeah, we kind of, and it's also expensive on shipping too. So
yeah, for sure. The shipping is outrageous when you start adding weight on everything.
Yeah. So we kind of we just kind of put that on the back burner for now. But that's another thing that we want to add with like additional upgrades. Like if enough people say like on our Discord, hey, like we'll take a poll. Hey, I want more weight. I want a different sling option, or like I want a different type of butt, or I want to be able to mount it somewhere, whatever. Like we can work with people and actually hear what the majority of people want. Like what do people really want? So.
Yeah. And I've noticed online, and I also purchased it when I purchased my stock, was the 2-point bungee system that you suggest with it. Is that just for the tiring times that you just want to kind of relax, or like throwing grenades, or like what are you like the highly suggested point of even having that?
100%. It's so that you can switch to nades and pistol and just drop your stock, like your gun completely. So you don't have to have one hand balanced here, and hopefully the stock doesn't, because if you shake it enough, because it's got that even weight, it's just going to fall off the stock and then hit the floor and break. But the sling is just be able to pick it right back up. And then the bungee was specific so that we tried nylon slings, and yes, they look cooler. And we've tried like a 1-point sling. They look good, but they're very bulky and they get in the way pretty quickly, especially with tracking too. They cause some tracking issues because it's a giant flap that goes right over your controller. And so it just completely blocks it and makes it unusable. And that's what we learned with the mob too, was another thing, was like quite a few people were having tracking issues, and you're like, okay, we made a new point for the sling. And that's why you have a lot of alternate sling points on the mob or the spine, not just because of if people want to use the nylon sling that bad, or like a sling they have at home, like they have a good one, then they have that option. But unfortunately, you're going to have to hang it under your hands, like below the controller, and it might not sit as natural. So
yeah, that sling just goes over your head then across the body.
Yeah, just like right across here, and then the stock sits right under your arm. So when you're ready to go, you just pick it right back up.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any slings that you could wear like a vest, like just a small, thing like that, and then it clips here to here, and then when it just drops, it drops in the below of your front of your chest, so it doesn't go behind you.
Somebody was talking about, I wish I could remember. I don't know if it was Minty, but it was he was trying to do a 1-point sling. We tested one out. And it was like a 1-point sling where it straps around like your shoulder here, and the stock sits like right on your chest. But he was thinking of making it to where it's like magnetic. So cool. Like I thought that was pretty cool. So it'd still be low profile, and you wouldn't have like a bunch of like a big old sling hanging off you. It would just be 1 point that you could snap back on your chest. And I thought that was really cool, but we haven't tested that. There's a lot of stuff we want to do.
Oh yeah, I bet there is. And the good thing is that VR is so early that you're getting into the pinnacle time of not needing to have quite the fullest of design to what you could be in the next 10 years is going to be light years probably what you have now, especially as VR gets even more strenuous and more extreme than what it is just putting a headset on. Down the road we might be going straight XR. I think XR is supposed to be released in I think they pushed it back to 10 years now, so that's kind of sad from the 5 years they were expecting. But just imagine just walking down with a stock and being XR and like killing people in the street. Like some
zombie apocalypse in the middle of
crazy stuff
city.
like that.
That could be good and really bad at the same time. It'd be cool if it was, if you didn't have pedestrians walking around.
Oh yeah, they would definitely have to have areas just like for like an like instead of like a dog park, they have a human park just so they can people can do dumb shit like hold something like that.
It's really exciting too, for sure. Because the main constraint I feel like with VR right now is not everybody has enough space to like right now with like flat screen gaming, you just have like a little monitor here and a little desk and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
With VR, you need at least like a 6x6 to like comfortably play and not be afraid of like breaking your controller, which a lot of people already do still. But that's the tricky part for sure. And being able to, if you could like play VR in your backyard, boom, done deal.
We had a guy one time back when we were only a Population 1 team that tried out. I guess he had like family over and he tried out for the team outside with 3 car lights shining on him so he could try out for the team. I thought that was hilarious that he was outside doing that.
That's dedication.
That's dedication. Yeah. But so you mentioned like the esports stuff and the casual thing. Would you how do you market that for just a casual person not getting extreme? I know for me for a fact I do not like the virtual stock at all, just because the way it wants to clip to me. Like when I look at like even shooting real guns, because I shoot guns in real life, is that when you're looking at a reticle, when you're pulling it up, like you have to find that, and the way that they're doing it is like a straight point and it's like underneath you like this, and so I'm almost aiming higher. I'm just like, this doesn't feel natural compared to a real AR where you can go like this and all you have to do is move your eye a little bit around to find a reticle, and, but at that point if you're getting good enough shooting an AR, an actual pistol with an optic, it's like a natural instinct. But do you need to actually take time to actually learn how to use the gun stock for just a casual person?
Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve for sure. I grew up playing sports all my life. I've gained and lost weight like 6 or 7 different times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had like a physical element in my life. It's like for some reason or another. So I feel with the stock for me, it was easy to just pick up and go. But it was surprising to see. Oh, dropped it. It was surprising to see that a lot of people were just like, this thing, it's way too hard to use. It's bulky, blah blah blah. And I understand where they're coming from now, but in the beginning, I was like, it can't be that hard. I mean, you just snap and find it. But then I started handing it off to every single one of my friends, and like, dude, try it, just try it, just try it, just try it. Well, they try it, and I watch them, and I'm just like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it definitely, especially if you're not already used to VR. If you played VR enough, then I feel like it'll be a little bit easier. But you're going to find yourself looking through the bottom, like that little gap right there, just to find the base of the stock and then get it there.
Yeah, until you get it figured out.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would say it all just depends on the person. Like we're offering to do sessions with people, to give them any tips or tricks, because there's a lot of stuff after playing with it for a year that I didn't realize a lot of people weren't able to I guess pick up on, or it can help them learn. But ultimately it's just using it over and over, just really literally dropping it, switching a pistol and then getting it back up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that a bunch of times. Depending on the person, you'll be able to get there no problem. Then this stock you'll get the most benefit out of it.
Yeah.
But if you're just right out of the gate starting to use it, never used stock before, you're gonna think this thing is bulky and difficult and hard to use. That's just the way it goes,
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's almost like back when Pancake Game controllers, they added the extra buff of the different controller lengths. I don't have one on my thing, but they go I actually have a controller near me. So they used to sit up here and there'd be different heights, and they're a major learning curve. But once you have that down, there's no joke. Your sniping and your accuracy is improved significantly. And so that's what I feel with anything with a gun stock, because I was told by some of the greatest players that gun stocks definitely, as soon as you figure out that like you said, that learning curve, it is a definitely improvement, because you are that stability you're having. I know a lot of times when I get ready to play a competitive game, that first game, I got so much adrenaline pumping through me that I can feel myself the adrenaline shaking through my body. You know, there's no way you can get rid of adrenaline. That's just human instinct.
Right.
But until that first match is over, like I can feel. I think I'm missing headshots here. God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I actually this weekend, it was on Sunday. I was doing the bolt action with the stock, and then I was like, let's see how much this really does help me. And like, steady your aim, get yourself going, and it's still like there's still that sway. There's still that sway. You just like, unless you're a doctor and a surgeon,
Yeah.
you're gonna have that for sure. And people, you know, especially with TikTok, you get a lot of people with very strong opinions, even though they've never used our stock or a stock. They just have an opinion somehow.
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy, but
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, they'll just say get better. And I'm just like, you must have played at least 600 hours to have that perfectly steady aim, which not everybody wants to do that, or whatever's going on. But I don't have it, and I enjoy using the stock, and that's pretty much my selling point. Like that's why I believe in it, because I legitimately enjoy using it, and it helps me. So I'm like, there's got to be more people out there that it's going to help. So
yeah, and so for that bolt action gun where you have to continuously put your thing off and load and then put it back in, like, have you ever tested it, how fast you are with it? Or do you train yourself to where it is almost non-comparable?
Second nature for sure. Yeah. Even just going through a full match in Pavlov using the bolt action, it's about, because it's magnetized on the bottom and you're attached, but it's still a small point you're magnetized to, and we made it so that on purpose, or made it that way on purpose, so that you can easily remove them to reload, or just drop them, go to your sidearm real quick, or throw a nade.
Yeah, and you have one. You should have one next to you, right?
Yeah. So
instead of we can give some an actual visual aid, or they can go on the website as well after this and really look at them.
Yeah, the green screen makes it.
Yeah, the green screen's mess. I think if you get closer to it, dang green screen. But if you come a little closer, it should fix it. There it goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just to show the.
Yeah.
So this is the controller mount by itself. This thing pops right off. You got the magnet there, snaps in place beautifully.
Oh, and it goes in it, right?
Yeah, so it goes in the controller mount.
I thought you were trying to find the hole every time.
No, that'd be a struggle.
Oh, okay. No, this is awesome.
We designed it to where one thing was being able to always use different controller grips, because I personally freaking love the Kiwi grips. My dog just chewed on it. I'm really
nice. Gotta love that.
But yeah, these are a necessity. Like, I freaking love these, and I want everybody to use them. Besides those little flimsy, I've tried a few other grips, and by far these are the best. But yeah, the mounts we made, like, we stuck with these mounts on top of not using any kind of screw-in system or Velcro or anything, because you can use different grips for the most part, because they're very non-invasive. And yeah, so all you got to do, I'm going to stop balancing this on my chest for a second. It's very simple. You know, we got little videos everywhere, but just to kind of demonstrate on here, this is how it goes in. You got the little tab here, tab here to pull it out, but all you do is slightly squeeze it. You don't even really have to squeeze it. And it kind of clips in place. I'm pulling hard on that.
Yeah.
And it stays there. It's beautiful. And we just stuck with that. And then to take it out, you just push on that tab and grab that magnet, and it pops out fairly easy.
Wow.
And it's been working so beautifully. We're just like, why do we need to adjust more of what's already working well? You know, we just kind of sticking with that for now, at least.
Yeah, but, and I know a lot of people probably ask this because Oculus, its sensors are in the controller. Are the sensors inside of it, or are they outside of it?
So the sensor, if I'm not mistaken, is about right here.
Okay.
So that's why when you have the sling mount, like the big old nylon sling, it would hang right here and block that ring. So then your gun's gonna go everywhere. But with that's where the tracking is, and you're gonna have tracking issues because it's kind of a larger profile on the side, and depending on if the way the clips, I usually have one here and one here, but if it hangs just at that perfect angle to block that tracking light, you're gonna go haywire for a second. All I do, it's on stream as well, by the way. All you do is just like flick your hand real quick.
Yeah.
And then you're back to being good. Like, you're back to, no tracking issues. But that does happen to me on average, I'd say twice every like hour and a half stream, every 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, I even lose hand tracking without a stock. I have before, just by like trying to throw, like sometimes I'll like hold a gun to my side and have a grenade here, and the next thing you know, I'm like this. I'm just like, what in the world did I just do? So, I mean, tracking issues going to happen, especially when it comes to the Quest, but you're probably not going to have that with your PCVR headsets, because the trackings are more up on the front and the back modules. It's a way different tracking system. But, Oculus, I think they're already thinking about improving that, and I think they already have something in stock to actually help that.
They they have something out now already for that?
No, they're in the process of, I don't know. They
Gotcha.
got these they have like 5 new headsets that are about to be releasing part of their 2000 all the way to like 2025, because they're like building these stores almost like an Apple store, where they're going to have all these different launches of headsets. So I don't really know which direction they're going, but I know that they're
I don't think they know either.
I don't think I think after their whole XR thing went freaking haywire, I think they've just been kind of shooting for the moon. It's like buying cryptocurrency right now. Just like, hopefully it shoots to the moon.
Yeah, just throw something in the wall and see what sticks. And they've got the manpower behind it to make something cool. It's just a matter of them deciding what direction they actually want to take it in. Like the newest one is supposed to be a professional headset, but also it could be used for gaming. And I'm like, that doesn't make.
I don't think sense. That one's gonna be made for gaming. A lot of people think it is. I don't think it's. I mean, people are definitely going to try to use it like a gaming thing, but if it isn't compatible, then it's not. But there's I had a guy on last week called Mateo, and he has a video out right now that's talking about the Pico Neo 4, how it's going to be like 4K resolution. Like they said, like they're kind of starting out slow now, but I guess the people that own TikTok just like purchase this from the Chinese company, or something deal just happened. He talked about, you'd have to go watch it, but he said this next headset's supposed to be like eventually blowing Meta out of the freaking water.
The only reason I feel like, I'm sure you might think this too, but like the only reason Meta is doing so well is because they put such a low price point on their headsets. Like, especially when the Quest 2 came out, I was like, how does that make any sense that this thing costs the same as the Quest 1, but it's like just better in every aspect entirely? And it's true. It's just because they're taking a loss and they're just putting a lot.
I thought the Quest 1 was around $800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Quest 2 was $300.
Yeah, $300.
Yeah. Smaller. It was smaller. It was faster, better resolution, like everything. And you have the PCVR Airlink and all that stuff. And I was just like, dude, what am I missing here? And yeah, it turns out, they're putting a huge gamble into this, and it's gonna pay off. Everybody's talking their crap right now about, what's his name? Zuckerberg's freaking out, he's crying, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but like I don't like the guy either. I'll be honest. Like he's kind of a lying, shady guy. He just lied about the Facebook accounts and everything. But I mean, if he just sticks through it and just keeps, surviving, taking the losses as they come, they're going to be big. But they have to be like community oriented, and they can't just like think that they know what people want. Like people tell them their avatars in the Horizon worlds are terrible because you don't have legs and you don't have arms, and they just look goofy and cartoony.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we're gonna double down on that one. It's like, that's not smart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, because especially after they were announcing like the major kind of like this is the next generation of the meta world, and then I always make fun of it, and it's probably not even a real video, but the whole video of Mark Zuckerberg giving him a pair of breasts, like I thought that was the funniest video ever, and that just kind of like says like, this is what you got, but look what you could do, and I'm just like, cool. You just made every 10-year-old flock to your game and annoy the hell out of any adult that wants to be part of it.
Yeah, it's like a daycare in Horizon Worlds. I've seen like a couple videos of people trying it out. I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna be there. Like, it's gonna just be one of those things where like the kids first get their mom and dad get the kid their headset, and that's the first thing they go to because it's free. And That'll be it. It'll be over.
Yeah, there's only one guy I ever watched doing that. He was on TikTok. His name's VR Prankster, and he would go in there and they have like a comedy show they would do, or he would just mess with people. I thought that was the smartest thing at the time when it first came out. But yeah, it's definitely a weird thing. I don't think it's gonna last very long, and they better evolve it really quickly.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do want to get into is definitely since Havoc is an esports organization, and like things that are going to be coming out as the end of COVID is in the rise. For now, who knows? It's definitely one of those things that just keeps coming back and leaving and going. So it's really hard to put on these real lane events. But in my opinion, when for instance, they have like the only lane event coming soon that I know of, besides the ones they have for people that own buildings and you have to actually go physically there, is the one for Vale, which is the $35,000 tournament in Miami, all that fun stuff. I really wish they start doing more of that, and a lot of people, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I really want to see tournaments to where it is the realest thing ever, to where you have to have a gun stock. There has to be certain, like, expectations. Like, I would love to see a tournament of one team have a competitor gun stock against another competitor gun stock and just duke it out and just like whoever wins, obviously it's whoever wins is probably based on, talent, but people would take it like, oh, that's the best gun stock ever.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I just think people, like, especially right now with in VR, people are very strongly opinionated, at least from what I've experienced in terms of competitive players, because either they don't know about it, or they're kind of like, you don't need one at all, or like one helps me a lot. And yeah, it'd be kind of see like all free. I feel like it'd be cool to see all freehand team and then against the all gun stock team.
Yeah,
and like who's gonna really come out. That'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome to do at a lane event. It's like not for like any type of money or thing, just like like say you go to the lane event and you have so much like input on how well your stock plays, and just get like the best team ever and just like watch it, they're gonna whoop their ass.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool for sure. And
it'd be a selling point for sure.
What's that?
It'd be a selling point for sure.
Exactly. And a thing we want to do is we want to be able to go to gun ranges, because we moved out to Texas recently. And there's gun ranges everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
The plan is to bring the stock and a headset and just give it to firearm professionals and be like, what are your thoughts? And then kind of get their reaction. I feel like that'd be really cool too.
Yeah, you won't have a problem with that, because every Texan, they're born with a gun in their hands. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, LAN tournaments too. That's why we moved close to Dallas, because I feel like Dallas is a pretty big gaming hub in general.
Yeah.
And we want to start hosting LAN tournament, because I tried hosting one in Southern California in summer of last year, and it just, nobody signed up. We had a lot of contacts we sent it out to, not nowhere near as many as we have now, thank goodness. And we're that's what we're trying to do, was like, we're trying to develop the community with the gun stocks, just trying to get word of mouth, let people know who we are, so then by the time we're ready to start doing LAN tournaments and a lot of different events, we have this audience of perfectly people who would want to participate in it, to like, hey, tell your friends, or if you want to come through, let's do it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's what I want to do. I've always wanted to. I've been to one Overwatch live game in Southern California. That was a lot of fun, but like I've never. I was always like a homebody. I never went out much, but also I've always wanted to be in esports. I wanted to play competitive esports. It wasn't really supported so much in the family. A lot of just sports, like regular sports, football, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the competitive side comes out of me. But I feel like anybody who ever wants to do that should be able to, and we want to just make it as easy as possible for anybody to just join in and be like, dude, especially playing on an esports team. I got to sub for Homeland not too long ago.
Yeah.
For Pavlov.
Mm-hmm.
And my first match ever, I did, okay. But the experience alone was so damn fun. Like it was unparalleled to any other, you get into a game and it starts to get like, you got some players playing good with you.
Yeah.
Has nothing comparable to like your actual full team you're working with, get the objective done. It's so damn fun.
Oh yeah. And if you get a good team that you jive with, that you play with, and and you like pretty much it becomes telepathic of like what your roles are, where you should be, it's just like once you like even like it's like I just know there's been multiple times where I played a whole entire match, and then next thing you know, you see it. So like for contractors, it's for VREL is the league that we play through, and like they do like the little playthrough matches of things that we did, and I don't remember a damn thing.
Really?
Yeah, there's that. Like I just remembered like oh yeah, I remember like I killed a whole bunch of people, but when they put it in there, you're just like, oh, I just did that. And you know, there's only like certain people, and like TBG Dog, if he's even listening, that they caught him one time throwing a grenade and like pretty much like Kobe'd it. And they're just like, did he just Kobe that? And it's like only he's the only one that would sit there and think of something dumb to do that. But I'm just full focus mode. Just because I get too serious when it comes to that because I just don't like losing at all.
Yeah.
But
And VR takes you there even further. Like I was streaming one day. I'm not going to forget this. I feel like for a long time, but I took in Pavlov. I took the pills, like the pain pills, to get your health back up. And somebody called me out. They're like, dude, did you open your mouth when you like threw the pills back in game? And I was like, dude, I like had no idea, but it's crazy how it just takes you on another level.
So imagine this. You're playing a video game called Population 1, and they have these things called shakers. And your wife walks in while you're trying to eat a shaker.
Oh, man. You're like, I can explain.
I swear it is not what it is. Someone's shooting at me now. Hold on.
Hold on, give me the banana.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what kind of interactive game you in? So,
Who chose that fruit? Come on, any fruit in the world.
I know, and so now I have to like shake down here, like I'm doing like a maraca or something, then hurry up and throw it down my guzzle.
Oh man, they did something on purpose with that game, I bet.
Oh, for sure. You know they were all laughing. They were all in the studio, just like, look at all the bananas we can eat.
Some of them came from Blizzard, I bet you.
yeah. You think like it would be like a sandwich, just a nice little sandwich, but no. Let's just go ahead and peel. I can't tell you how many times I've cracked knuckles trying to peel a freaking banana as fast as possible under fire, trying to throw this thing down my mouth and still shoot at people. The game's nuts.
It's so fun. That was another one that was like. Especially making gun stocks for that game. That game's a struggle and a half. Like we've experimented with a bunch of stuff, but yeah, that game, those kind of games are just meant for just two-handed flying around, just being crazy and shit.
Yeah, I mean the only way is like I think I explained it is having some center detachable thing that's magnetized that would have to be able to one-hand things, and then if you wanted it could clip back on. But the technical, like. The design of that would have to be very particular because anything to a competitive Population 1 player would probably piss them off just because each player kind of plays their own. There's some people that one-hand climb. There's some people that only, one-hand shoot. After playing so much Pavlov and Contractors, before when I first played, Population 1 was my very first game I ever played in VR, and I never looked down the scope. And then after playing competitive Contractors and Pavlov, I have to use the scope. Everything I do, it's an instinct. It's an instinct, pulling it up. And I don't mean to. And then one day I just realized on my stream, I was like, oh, I'm looking down the scope for the first time ever in Population 1. That's blowing my mind.
Yeah, that's cool about that game too, is like you can really have your own style for sure.
Yeah, and one thing that someone did mention in the chat is like, well, when they said it would be funny to see like you doing the stuff with advocate gun players or like military or cops with like TikToks, comparing themselves with that. But one person's like, I want to see a cop do it. And it kind of like kicked in my head of an idea, like as VR gets bigger, they're already using this for real life scenarios, like my company, like sometimes teaches people how to weld through it just to kind of get the basis of how to, just safety. Or like people are doing surgery with it. But like with your gun stock, you can almost like talk to like cop training or military training and be like, hey, like put on VR headset, go to an area in Texas that is a room scaled area that's built in because they have them to where the walls that you have are in VR, and then you actually have your stock that's a really good thing to actually teach them like actual gun placement without using real calibers, and you get rid of that risk And not only that, they actually get to see real people getting shot instead of just like, oh, dead, down, let's move on. They get to actually throw real grenades and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see that.
I would say the best game to use that for would be if Vale made a mod specific to that, like breach and clear type things, or like with real, I guess what do you call them? Citizens, and then like bad guys. I don't know the nerve, like cops and robbers or whatever, but because like the gun play is super natural, but and the movement. But I feel like, especially because you mentioned nades, that's why I was like there. I feel like Vale has like the most realistic physics, especially with grenades. And you can pin your gun against the wall and things like that. But that's part of what VR needs too, is the, what do you call it? I guess it just needs those committed people to like better it, like make it really, really authentic. I mean, there's a guy who's my girlfriend's, I guess, uncle-in-law now. He worked for the Air Force, and he actually kind of mentioned the same thing to me, but I guess I didn't have enough confidence in it to really, pursue it. But I probably should. I probably should start going to police stations and showing, like, I guarantee, hey, here's Vale and here's the gun stock. Try it out.
Exactly. And not only is it good for training of just like basic mechanics of a gun and actually feeling it, you gotta think, like, we pay taxes. We're governed by that body. We also, they serve to protect us, and a lot of the money that we spend into is for them to burn rounds. And don't get me wrong, shooting a real gun with real rounds is very beneficial, but you don't need to do that all the time. And you could probably save thousands of dollars just putting on a VR headset and doing your training through there. That's another scenario. Like, I don't know why a lot of people would jump on this, but we're greedy people in this world that we just we burn paper for the fun of it. So
yeah, exactly. And I feel like for us, it makes perfect sense for them to do it. But if they are already able to, I mean, unless some of them are gamers, then you might have an easier sell. But I think going to them, I'm going to try it. I should probably just go try and film it and see what they say. But I feel like why would I give up shooting my real awesome, cool gun for this VR headset? Like, no, I'm going to stick to the gun range. It's like, I got to go to the government. I got to start petitions or something.
But, I always tell people, it never hurts to ask, because one question can literally set a career off. That's all it takes. You say this, and next thing you know, you have a huge catalog of orders coming in that you now have to fulfill the whole entire state of Texas. It could it'd be that's life-changing stuff. You know how many freaking machines you'd have to buy to start making all those guns?
Yeah, shoot, I'd have to get a whole warehouse full of them. That'd be amazing, though.
Yeah, and they do have buildings.
I'm gonna do that. So can't do it this weekend. I'm gonna do it next weekend. I'm gonna do it next Saturday, because that's kind of the slower period for us, that we don't do as much fulfillment. I'm gonna go to 2 different sheriff stations around here, or like police stations, and I'm gonna film it. And it might be low quality, but I'm gonna show you guys.
And next thing, what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up on the Joe Rogan show in his space thing with him shooting your gun with a VR headset while he's doing ayahuasca. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, and it's safe. I could just tell him, hey, it's safe for you to use a VR gun stock and not a real gun when you're high. So
yeah, exactly.
A win-win there too. For all the people like to get high, here's a fake gun.
Yeah, and you got to load him into something he'll understand. You have to load him into like the Doom mod.
Yeah, hey, exactly.
He'll get that one. He'll like that one.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm very excited for the esports thing to grow up a little more as the world opens up more. As long as it keeps doing that, I think right now people are all worried about like anything that lands on you that's a germ. People are freaking out about. So we'll see how it goes. But what Vale is doing is a major stepping stone. And one thing that I also watched in a video the other day is that what Vale is doing, if it's successful, and they can show that there is money in VR, like they're trying. Right now, what they just put up is the biggest earning to date over the past 10 years for this, and that's a minimum. That's if you watch the podcast I had him on, he said that's the minimum payout is $35K. If he can get more investors, it could go higher than that. And so I definitely believe that it will be higher than that. But if he shows success in this, the company shows success in this, then AAA games are going to jump on that harder than you've ever seen. Not only AAA people are going to jump on that, but real pancake streamers are going to start buying VR headsets. They're going to start moving their platforms, even dabble in VR, just because if there's an earning, there's an earning. Like, could you imagine Shroud leaving his mouse and keyboard to put on a VR headset?
Yeah, he actually did it once. He played Pavlov like a couple years ago.
Really?
And it's crazy, like watching him play Pavlov. And when I remember seeing him play for the first time, and it's just not translatable. Like when you're watching it on a screen, someone play compared to like actually having the headset on. That's the rough part, because like I feel like anybody that does it, they'll like once they get past the little bit of motion sickness you get in the beginning, once you get past that, it's just like you're smooth sailing on an experience you've never had.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never compare it to anything else, like except for like getting on a freaking roller coaster. Like it looks cool, right? Oh, the flip looks amazing, but until you get in it, you don't really know what it's like truly like to do it. So
yeah.
But
go ahead.
What's that? I was gonna say I think you brought it up about the like kind of LAN tournaments, how they're kind of tough too, is because everybody's got different headsets. Like with PC LAN tournaments, anybody can just hop in as long as you don't have an app like a Mac. But like Xbox, same thing, PS4. But with the PC VR and Quest 2 not really being cross compatible to a degree, makes it really difficult, especially with the difference in performance. Like if you're trying to be esports professional right now in VR, you pretty much have to have like a Vive or an Index to really be like to have a good chance, like to compete.
I mean, you could still have a Quest, because Quest right now actually runs better than a lot of headsets. A lot of people don't know that the graphics you're still running with your cable turned on. You're getting 120 hertz if you have a good enough PC. You're still running, and not only that, but since the headset's actually made to be solo ran by itself, it actually picks up a lot of what a regular headset wouldn't, and it also won't run as hot when you're plugged into a PC. So a lot of people actually said they get better graphics and better running on the Quest than they would on like a Vive. And that's I don't know if that's a personal thing or what, but it is definitely something I've heard from multiple people from the esports organization. But yeah, I did mention that on the last podcast, is that 100% the way that Vale is going about this is, since they are only PC VR, that's just the way they want to go. They will have a true professional scene going up. You will have but still, again, I know so many people that are playing Vale with a Quest. There's more than you think, and so there's just there's either got to be two things. They have to justify that you're allowed to. Geez, my rings was disappeared. But you'd have to either have something set in stone that, hey, this is what you're going to have to use. Like, this is the criteria that we're going to have all this pre-built in, because they have to have it for the people coming to watch it, because people will be there. Or they're just like, hey, you can bring whatever headset you want, but you have to tell us which each player has, because obviously you're going to have a link cable, or you're going to have to plug in through your headset somewhere. But, I mean, at the end of the day, all they have to have is the same PC.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess the more I think about it, the main difference, like it's consistently more smooth, I guess, with the Index. The Quest 2 is still super, super smooth in terms of like the refresh rate. I'm pretty sure it's only 120 hertz, but it's like artificial, but it still looks solid. The smoothness of it. But the field of view, it's great. Like I feel like the field of view really helps a lot. Like you really see the full scope of like the lay of the land. Compare where with the Quest 2, it's kind of like you got a bit of tunnel vision going on, and you can't really see all the corners of your eye as much.
Yeah, I do get
but
that.
It's just, I guess that can be considered a smaller, not as detrimental to like, your actual performance.
Yeah, and that's all depends on how the way you think, though. If you like to see an open thing, or you're just a straightforward thinker. But I think you get that feeling just because it is being casted to your headset through the link cable from the PC playing it. And not only that, but it's supposed to be made for standalone. So it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be fully like I don't even think even Oculus has full like locked in like most headsets have.
Yeah. But the one game that showed me like the main potential of the Quest 2 was the Resident Evil 4 for the Quest 2. And because it's an exclusive game, I feel like they were really able to hone in on like to getting the best performance out of it because it runs super 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 smooth. Like there's no glitches. I haven't had any bugs or anything like little bugs like you can't grab something here or there,
Mm-hmm.
but like it looks and feels so damn good compared to like because Onward was the first game I played and it felt really chunky to a degree, you know.
Well, that's because it was not supposed to be for Quest 2 at all. It's only supposed to be PC VR. And then so when Quest went fully, and this is alleged, like I'm not, this is not any factual thing. This is coming from what I've read from articles. So allegedly, so I don't get freaking sued or anything. So, but technically, so allegedly, they wasn't supposed to be for the Quest. It was supposed to be PC VR. Then when Quest started making hell of a lot of sales within the past like 3 years since COVID happened, everyone wants to get a Quest. It's so cheap that they kind of rushed into it. And so they had a lot of back end issues. That's what I've read in past articles, but. Allegedly, they're making a second one that's supposed to be fixing all of this. So
that makes sense, and they've got plenty of experience with the Quest 2 to like know what it takes to really make a solid game. Like they can avoid. Hopefully, it'll be cross compatible. That's like what Contractors did with that. It was a really good move, and pretty much everybody should have that because being 2022 and every flat screen game you play is pretty much cross compatible. At least the larger titles. That's what I hope they do. That I feel like that's what's going to help the community grow too, because like you're like separating people and they can't really come together to make cool stuff, like making cool content to watch to get other people to start trying it and stuff like that. So
I mean, I get like there's gonna be more headsets coming out. Like a lot of people think a lot of these bigger companies are just waiting for Oculus to make the inventions and then they're just gonna piggyback on the technology and just like here's our headset, there you go. And all this is going to create, since Oculus has its own store, then you have Steam that runs all the PC VR, and then you have PlayStation that has their own exclusive in their store. And then with the new headset, the Chinese headset that the TikTok bought, they are also making their own store. And then there's also another headset that's supposed to be using another store. Like what store is it? It's freaking
see that's why the Steam, like that's why PC VR right now is like the standard, is just because it's like the entire library besides like the main exclusives, but you get all those indie developer games and a lot of the other ones that started out PC VR before they went to Quest, and they usually run way better. But like that's the same thing with the metaverse. It's frustrating is like everybody's going to try to race to create their own metaverse, whereas like the metaverse is supposed to be everything into one, not one of like you're trying to make everything in your one. It's like everybody wants to do that. It's not everybody's going to benefit if everybody can to be like Steam essentially, but not so damn greedy with 30%.
I mean, if money's there, money's made. It's also with all these leagues. Like I don't have enough fingers on my hand to count how many leagues there are.
Yes.
And they're all trying to be top dog, and then
every month there's a new one.
Always. Like I always made fun of the game Knock, which had such like it still does have good esports capabilities, but it's like they just didn't do well with the letting people like veteran out like where the leagues are going to be, because they let everyone post all these leagues. There's like 20 leagues within the first week of beta. I'm just like, the game's not even fully out yet, and you guys are making these TikToks, trying to set tournaments up. There's people that are still having issues. Like, I'm like, you guys are crazy.
You
but
guys are tripping.
They're just trying to be the first ones to do it. I get it, It's almost like back in 2020, I feel like everybody was creating a VR esports team that was in VR. And now I only know a couple that can actually officially call themselves like us, like an organization that has multiple games. Like a lot of teams just said, hey, we're just going to stay in Population 1. We're just going to stay in Contractors. but the amount of work you have to put into this, like you can even tell TBG he had to take some time off. Just like he's like, dude, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I was like, all right. And I've done the same too. I've also been like, dude, I got to take a week off to where I don't speak to anybody and not even play VR. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Like it's just, and then new stuff comes up and you're like, why didn't I think about it before? Oh, because I have these 10,000 other things I'm worried about over here that I got to get focused on and developed. And, yeah, but it's it's kind of right now we're in the position like we want to support the players right now. That's why, like Homeland actually came to us and I was freaking stoked. And then you guys reached out and I was even more stoked. I'm like, dude, this is what we should be doing, just supporting the players and finding out who's actually committed to playing. Because like a lot of times we're seeing, teams who come into tournaments and then they just don't show up, they just forfeit. They're just like, for example, one of the teams I saw, they didn't show up to their game. And it turns out the team captain who didn't respond was busy playing like Battlefront or something when they were supposed to be in a match. And like, you don't have much of an audience to really find those good committed players who like want to do better and who want to improve and want to strategize and all that. So like, that's another thing we can just kind of see is like, who should we keep an eye out on? Like, who's going to be fun to watch once they, once this thing gets bigger and, who can we root for and stuff like that? Obviously, I just root for a good game, honestly, to watch.
Oh, yeah, for
Even
sure.
with sports like football and baseball, I didn't really have a favorite team. I was just like, once playoff starts and there's a good game going on, like, I'll just vote for the underdog.
Yeah, and it's all about the casters, too. There's some really good casters out there that really make it really exciting. And like, there are some casters where it's like, they, like, avoid all of the big moves at all costs. Like, I've seen, like, there's, like, some person that got, like, a quad kill. And he's like, yeah, look at this person run up this mountain. I'm just like, oh, my God. You just missed, like, the highlight reel of the whole game. That like, the pinnacle change that allowed, a team to win.
Yeah. And, like, so for Sumachi is one dude. He's a streamer, but he was also doing casting for Vale at the time, like just pugs, just kind of casually. It might have been for practice, but that makes a huge difference too in the experience. Because like if you got someone who knows what they're talking about and they give a shit, and it just gets you that much more into the game, and it's a whole formula that once it all comes together, like you can have a league and it's really developed good. You got a nice website, you got outreach, and you got sponsors, but like it's not going to go anywhere if you don't have the good casters and the good people like recording it and everything, and you got those like I think I mentioned Apex before to you, that recent Apex tournaments they have. I always get stoked once they have those going up, because they have such the people like how VR is now, where they love what they're doing, they love the game, and then they just love what they're talking about. You can hear it. You can't fake that.
No,
you can, but like most people are gonna be like, you're full of it.
Yeah.
But when they're committed, it makes it so much more enjoyable to watch and listen in, and it helps you learn about what the heck's going on top of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can definitely tell when there's an inexperienced caster out there, for sure. But we're up on an hour here, and I kind of wanted to end the show talking about kind of your website, kind of like how to go out there, how to purchase, and like just the different colors you have. If you want to talk about that, and maybe like the Discord, how you can even like add a skin to like what you purchase as well.
Yeah, so olenvr.com is our website. The whole homepage is just pretty much all the highlights, of the stock in general. We got a highlight clip of me playing a little bit of Vale. We got some sponsorships with the past sponsorships we're doing. We have the full kit, which is we kind of pre-made colors together as just an example of what people can have if they want to custom make their own color options. But we have it comes with a buttstock, and you can get the sling optionally, just so if you have your own sling at home, you want to use like a shoelace. We've seen people use stuff like that. But we make it as simple as possible. Pretty much homepage is the full kit. If you want to just go right there, and you've got about 6 or 7 different color options. You got black, call it onyx, ghost, flamingo is one, or a cherry blossom. That's like a pinkish one. We got scarlet. Yeah, we got a bunch of different color options. I can think right now a little anyway, I'm blanking, but pretty much, we got the main full kit we sell. We have a Chief Edition as well, which you got, which is pretty sick.
Heck yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, once Halo came out, I was like, I'm gonna make a Chief edition.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looked dope. That was actually a suggestion from someone on TikTok too about, and yeah, it turned out really cool. But yeah, we're always looking to working with other developers and stuff, making custom things too. We got other things in the works we're working on right now, but mainly the spine. The most people get is the black, the onyx, the black, or the ghost white stock. That's like majority of what people get. I thought Martian was pretty dope. It's like a green and black one. But yeah, we're trying to make it to where it's like we're going to be developing it to where you can make it entirely your own, have a lot of different skins on it. But right now, weapon charms is like I guess the first step into that. So we can, like, you got gun buddies in Valorant and like charms and Warzone, same kind of thing. You can people have given us their own design, or like we work with teams like you guys. We made a Havoc charm, which looks pretty sick.
Yep.
Yeah, that. So we're trying to make it more open to where you can have a lot of different gun styles that you can choose from, as well as colors and things like that. So olenvr.com.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And just for like the people out there, like what does the estimate even make in a gun like that? Like on like time put into it.
It's 42 hours
for one gun.
On average, yeah. For one full gun. Yeah, it's about 42 hours.
Wow.
And yeah, we assemble them. We pretty much assemble them. We install the magnets. We put it together. Everything is pretty much together besides this butt piece right here. It's not screwed in just for the box size, but this is all put together. So as soon as you take it out of the box, put in the butt, boom, you're literally good to go. And you just snap these controller mounts, which you saw earlier. Super simple. And that's what we want. We want to be able to we want to get people, we want to eliminate any barriers that it is, like, watching other people put it together, different gun stocks. Like you're saying, you have 8,000 screws in a bag. Yeah. It just looks like a bunch of garbage in a box. And you're like, this isn't sick. Whereas the spine, you just pop it out, clip on 2 clamps, boom, you're freaking good to go. And yeah, so.
Yeah, man, that's pretty crazy. 42 hours, that's a lot of time investment. And so it's like, is there like other thing out there that can make the time, or is that like on average on any type? Is that just how they go?
Yeah, that's pretty much any. You can maybe bump it up about. You can actually print extremely fast. You can get a stock way faster. You can probably cut the time in like 2/3. Like you can shave off maybe 40 or 30%. But you're going to sacrifice a lot of the quality.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me pull up the stop again. Just let me. But like, so for example, you got the lettering there. Came out super clean, right? If we like increase the nozzle size, or we increase the speed, yeah, you can kind of see it there.
Yeah.
You're gonna sacrifice a lot of the sharp edges like that you want. And
yeah.
Like, you still want to look clean. That's half of it, is the aesthetic. Besides adding a red dot sight to it, I feel like, kind of want it to look like a gun.
Yeah, and like when I see that, it looks sturdy. It doesn't look like I'm just going to drop it once and it's going to break and all that.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. Trust me, I've dropped this numerous times, especially in testing and assembling other stuff too. It's very sturdy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's 42 hours is pretty much what we're looking at. That's like the sweet spot we've hit without sacrificing anything. And recently we've had to we increased the time for shipping, and for the most part everybody's super cool. I sent out the first email like showing my face. I've never shown my face. Like, I've tried to be a little bit secretive about it, be like cool, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I know. Finally I was like, I need to like just let people know, hey, we're behind, but like this is just because there's demand for it, and we're trying, like, we increase production, but we want to put out the same quality stuff, so we just got to wait a little bit longer. And everybody's really cool about it. That's the beauty of it too. We've had a few people here impatient here and there, but that's also our fault. We've kind of promised times without. Yeah, we just promised times that we couldn't be entirely accurate. But for the most, we always try to fix it. I've given somebody a refund because we're like a little bit too late. Still shipped out their stock, and I was like, dude, you deserve your money back, but I hope you like it, and just tell your friends. Like, that's ultimately where we benefit. It's just word of mouth. So.
Yeah, definitely. And if they come to the Discord, they complain, you just give them a Karen roll, something like that.
Yeah. The Discord, by the way, you came in. This looks phenomenal. Like, I tried to do this in the past, and I didn't have much experience with Discord already. I was trying to mimic other people's channels to a degree. I was like, dude, I'm so lost. Like, this is not functioning like how everybody else's legit Discords are running. But yeah, we have it up and running now. We got it ticket system. We see it like immediately live, so we can immediately respond to you. We'll see it. We got some roles to show, like for people to show, what color they have, what games they like. And we also want to recommend these games to people too. And that's something you've helped us out. And yeah, this was a huge benefit for us, and we want to develop this a lot. So.
Yeah, for sure. And like even that people that watch that develop new games, there's always hidden alpha, hidden beta games.
Yes.
If just a spot out to you is that if you like anyone that watches this that is developing a game that thinks they can develop this around your stock, should definitely reach out to you. And because calibrating it towards an actual gun stock already is very beneficial instead of just like, hey, here's some calibrating tools. Hopefully your gun stock works with it.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's a company we're planning on working with, rather, that they're actually doing that exactly. And that's exciting for us, because initially my mindset was like, play the games out there and then develop a gun stock around that. But like with the spine specifically, it's just one straight line, and if you should be able to calibrate your guns to a straight line like any rifle is straight. So it's kind of, I think we were looking at it the wrong way. We were just we needed to reach out to a few more people, and there've been some folks have been awesome about it. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to test mine out for sure, and definitely people should go to that Discord and like just even put good feedback. Is there anywhere people can leave like reviews? Is it all through your website, or is there anywhere?
You can give us Google Business reviews or like Reddit or anything like that. But we developed the Discord, like you developed it for us. We've always wanted it, but the Discord is to help it, where if anybody has any suggestions, alterations, or anything they would want to add to it or remove or whatever, we are going to read every single message and consider everything, unless it's like you're just trolling us.
Yeah.
And so like the Discord is I wish we would have done it sooner, but all
I
the
tell
feedback
people all the time. I tell people, like, especially if I really like a product, I'm like, I will build this for you because I want success for you guys, because like it's where it should be. And I've had people like, no, we don't need it. I'm like, oh, live in the past, whatever.
Yeah, I thought of that too. I was like, how did, we're in VR, like we're supposed to be the example of, moving forward and like, expanding on things. And I've been doing email blasts like every now and then, like a newsletter of like, hey, look at the, no, I mean, we got good open rates, but it's still, email is too slow.
Yeah. So is there anything, lastly, you want to kind of push out before we end this?
Just come to our Discord. That's where that's where we want to start making new stuff. I mean, we got the other the new stock or the adjustable stock we're kind of working on here and there. But yeah, if you guys want to come through a Discord, say what's up, or just if you got games that you'd suggest for us to try that we might have not played. We just want to be a part of it all. So
yeah, and that's the greatest thing, is finding people that want to be part of the community of VR instead of the people that are like completely avoiding community. They're just all about themselves. So I'm glad that they hear that.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people that since you officially are sponsoring Havoc, you're definitely gonna be seeing us repping the logo a lot more. You're gonna be seeing a lot of our players with the stocks in their hand. So
we're making a custom stock for you guys. It's gonna look
custom stock.
Sick.
Very excited for that. And then also, if you're still listening, all the people that if you actually use Havoc, I believe it's still active, right? That they'll get a charm. Yes. You'll get a Havoc charm with your purchase of a gun. So that's pretty cool as well. But other than that, next week, same time as always, I have Walkabout Golf talking about their new DLC Labyrinth. So I'm pretty excited for that, as long as everything works out. I just got the finalized email to kind of send out my Zoom meeting, and then in 2 weeks I want to kind of push this one a little bit. I have Hasbro coming on for Nerf, that they're making a game as well, so that's gonna be a pretty fun one as well. I'm gonna have to go buy a whole bunch of I'm gonna have to buy a whole bunch of Nerf guns and start shooting at the screen. Just really blow it up.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, everyone, all the links and description for Olen VR is in the description. I think I just repeated that. Go to the Discord for any anything you want to change, anything you want to be like, hey, I really appreciate all this. A lot of love happened in the chat, so that's really good. But go buy these stocks, and I want to hear, like, I really want eventually, like, let's give it like a while, like an actual poll of people VR to stocks. Like, let's have a major. Let's get on Twitter. and have a debate. Let's bring in some people that play professionally with stocks and not, and then just have a debate on which one's better. I think that'd be pretty exciting eventually down the road.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so let's do that. I definitely would want to set that up. But other than that, see y'all later, and thank you for coming on.